the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. Proudly sponsored by Jaguar. Picturesque Knysna in the Western Cape dates back to 1760 when the first European inhabitants arrived. From its early beginnings, the town has developed into a popular destination for both tourists and people looking for a relaxed and leisurely lifestyle. Well known for its Oyster Festival, another event that captures the imagination is the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. Drivers in iconic road and race cars from past and present vie for the classic Conqueror and King of the Hill titles. The King of the Hill is in its 6th year and takes place up the challenging Old Cape Road that runs alongside the Simola Golf Course and Spa. The route is a relatively short 1.9 kilometre stretch, which is not taken lightly by the drivers. The road rises 153 metres from the start to the finish, and it is as you find it, an untreated tar road, closed to the locals for 3 days of unbridled speed and excitement for both drivers and spectators alike. A good start is the key to a fast time, with some cars reaching well over 200 kilometers per hour. Good vantage points and facilities along the route offered spectators a most enjoyable day out. Classic Car Friday attracted 52 cars in 9 different classes, ranging from pre-Second World War cars to pre-1980 racing saloon cars, 2- or 4-door, rotary and 6- and 8-cylinder vehicles. Another class caters for the recreated cars, conforming to the car's original silhouette, but with modern running gear. But whatever the age of the car, the enjoyment for the drivers remains the same. After 3 open practice sessions in the morning in mild conditions, the drivers then had 3 qualifying runs to post their fastest times. The 3 quickest times for each category progressed to the class final and also determined the top 10 competitors for the Classic Conqueror title. The top 10 have one final run, with the 10th fastest to fastest qualifier setting off in a bid to be crowned the Classic Conqueror for 2015. Local driver Brent Watts entered in the King of the Hill in a Nissan GTR, but was also driving the 1973 6-cylinder 3.5-litre Porsche 911 RSR and was having a lot of fun.
I'm having a blast, and that's why I'm doing it. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the track feels good, and it'll get better as the day goes on. And really nice tune-up. So happy so far.
While the classic cars were enjoying their first practices on the hill and qualifying for the class final and Classic Conqueror, the challengers for the King of the Hill title had rolled into town for scrutineering down at the Knysna waterfront. A thorough check is done, and any car that does not conform to the rules for their class is not allowed to race. Once the scrutineering is completed, there is an opportunity for a bit of fun and showing off in town with a street parade and an exhibition for the public in the main street of Knysna. Among the cars on display was Mike Beachyhead's 1973 Porsche 917 replica.
Everyone has to do a little bit of a burnout and show off a little, and we're looking really forward to the start of the event tomorrow. I think it's one of the most really exciting and different events, racing events that one can go to. And always what's fantastic and nice is the spirit, just a really great spirit, and it's all about car lovers and petrol heads and that sort of thing, so that's why we're here.
But fundamentally it's about basic instinct of driving a car fast up a mountain. That's the bottom line.
And that's exactly what was on Jan Vosloo's mind until he spun his 1973 Porsche 911 RS in the first qualifying session. But he bounced back to finish 2nd in the class final and 6th in the Classic Conqueror. The penultimate class final gave some of the classics a chance to show their iconic lines one last time before the Conqueror final. And so, to the winners in the 8 classic classes, 4 pre-war cars. Pre-1966 road cars. Pre-1975 road cars. Pre-1966 race cars, single-seater and sports. Pre-1975 race cars, single-seaters and sports. Pre-1980 racing saloon cars, 2- or 4-door. Pre-1980 racing saloon cars, 2- or 4-door, rotary, 6- and 8 cylinders. And finally, the recreated cars. Immediately after the class final, Malcolm Eitan Bogaert led the chase for the Conqueror title in his 1965 Sunbeam Tiger. His time, 55.2. 3 Porsches qualified for Classic Conqueror. This, a 1970 911 driven by Gavin Rook in a time of 54.7 seconds. Peter Lindenberg powered his 1968 6.4-litre Ford Fairlane half a second faster in a 54.1. The times quickened and Jan Vossler then clipped a full second off the quickest time in his 1973 Porsche 911 RS, posting a 52.9. Brent Watts in his 1973 Porsche 911 RSR lowered the time even further with a 49.1, with last year's winner, Franco Scribante, still to drive. Anthony Ashley, 4th last year in his recreated 1998 Lotus 7, improved his time by more than a second this year for a time of 48.7. Franco Scribante in a 1974 Porsche Carrera RSR clocked a 46.05, but was it quick enough? With Ross Lazarus and Charles Arton still to drive. Lazarus in his 1965 Ford GT40 was a second slower than Scribante, leaving the door open for Charles Arton to claim the title.
So this is a 79B, a March 79B, Formula Atlantic. This particular one comes from America, raced by a guy called Derek Daly, and I bought it in December last year, so it's new for me. But a car like this, in 78, a 78B, won the South African Formula Atlantic Championships with Ian Schechter, and runs a BDA, 1600cc motor. It doesn't make much horsepower, 220 horsepower, but the secret is it weighs 580 kilograms with me in it. And that's what it's all about. It's light and nimble and handles like unbelievably well. And you can place it on the track where you want it. You look at a point in a corner, you turn the wheel, it'll go there. And it's a pleasure to drive. They're fun.
It was a wonderful start to the weekend, especially for Cape Townian Charles Arton in his March Formula Atlantic. His winning time of 45.8 was just 0.15 seconds ahead of Franco Scribante. As the sun set over Simola, a quietness returned to the valley, and that evening, the drivers and families, officials and special guests were welcomed to the 6th Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. Meeting up with good friends and fellow competitors and recounting a few good stories belied the mounting excitement and tension for the following morning. Last-minute adjustments and final checks were done before the start of the 5 practice and 2 qualifying sessions on the Saturday. With still 4 qualifiers to come on Sunday before the class final and the ultimate King of the Hill shootout, there was plenty of track time ahead. While there were 4 women drivers competing in Classic Car Friday, there were only 2 flying the flag for the Queen of the Hill, Donnie Lamola and Tanya Watts, in her 2nd year at the event, and this time driving a 2.5-litre Subaru.
Just the vibe is amazing. The people around here, everyone's so friendly, well, except for the big boys fighting it out at the top. But it's just great. It's a great vibe, family atmosphere. Everyone comes along, has a great day. Good adrenaline rush, lots of fun.
Over 30 years in motorsport, Peter Lindenberg is still enjoying the ride.
Oh, look, it's a challenge because I'm sure it's the heaviest vehicle in the event, but it's an amazing car. I mean, where do you find a car that you can tow your boat, tow your race car, take your wife out for dinner and take your kids for the holiday on the weekend and then go blow away a couple of Porsches? There's not many.
Lindenberg certainly loves that Range Rover. Another well-known driver soaking up the atmosphere was Enzo Kuhn.
I come from rallying, which is obviously a very different format on the looser surfaces, so and a much longer, more endurance component to it. So getting a 2-kilometer run all maximum for 48 seconds, that's what you got to prove yourself. It's all new to me, but I'm liking it. I mean, a lot of spectators around. It just proves that a lot of noise and a lot of horsepower draws the crowd, and that's what the organisers are proving here. I mean, it's just a magnificent turnout.
Mohammed Dangor, driving a Nissan R34 GTR, was having a less than memorable weekend, feeling unwell and then losing concentration at turn 2 during the qualifiers.
Yeah, I'm fine. Doing well. I've just been sick before before I'm stupid actually to go and drive.
No loss of focus for the event, however, which is steadily developing into South Africa's premier motorsport event with major sponsor Jaguar at the helm.
This is the second year of our sponsorship of the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. It's an incredibly important event to Jaguar as a brand. Really, it reinforces our part of our DNA, which is all around performance and innovation, and really it helps us to elaborate on our racing pedigree earned in the 40s, 50s and 60s. Part of this weekend's activities included the reveal of our XE, which is our all-new sports sedan and sports saloon.
The Jaguar experience had the heart racing a lot quicker for Eben Etzebeth and Juan de Jong from the Stormers rugby team. Seen here on our in-car GoPro camera, enjoying a weekend off from their Super Rugby commitments.
You don't realise how fast these cars can go up this hill, but how comfortably they sit on the road, you know. So it was a hell of an experience to be able to go at that speed up a windy hill like this, but a good thrill.
While the celebrities were enjoying their Jaguar experience, the drivers were keeping an eye on their competition.
There's quite a few guys here that can win. Franco last year beat me by a small margin, but I didn't get a first place. I got second last year, but he's here today, strong, and he's doing well as well.
Good enough. These good sites are too fast. I mean, those skylines are flying. And I would imagine they haven't turned up the boost yet. They're going to say that for the last 2 runs. So I think it's going to be fighting for third place this time, yeah.
I think we've got more than a second on third place in terms of timing, so it's looking good so far, but it's only the first day, and only first day is qualifying, so tomorrow's the big day.
What would racing be without a fair measure of rivalry on the track, especially between father and son?
I said to Jade one day, I said, give me a chance. He said, you're going to beat me fair and square. There's no ways he's backing down. So, it's there and it'll never end. The rivalry's always been there, and we'll continue like that.
If he's going to beat me, he must do it fair and square.
While engineers and mechanics rethink their strategy, Jade Goodside gives us an insight into his approach to the hill climb.
Normally roll up to the line and do a bit of a launch before we get to the actual start line. Make sure everything in the drivetrain's working and the tyres are nice and hot. When the guy stages us, I give my car a good few revs because I need to build up the boost. I don't have launch control as such, so when you rev it, just sort of continuously it builds up the boost enough before you as well pull away. Hard pull away on the limiter, as you can see, into second gear and into third gear, and then through the first little left-hand kink, and then there's a big right-hand corner, flat out in third gear with my slicks, and then fourth gear up to, I'm getting about 198 now. Hopefully we'll get a bit more today once we turn the boost up, over the bumps and jump on the brakes hard into third. This corner's difficult, nice third gear but very fast, nearly on the limiter. Then back into fourth gear for the second straight, and then hard in fourth until it comes onto the limiter. Now I'm leaving it in fourth, but I changed it to third. Right and left, and then hard back into fourth. With the slicks, it's fourth all the way, and flat out all the way up to the right hander at the finish, and hopefully we get there in a low 40.
That's serious commitment. Coming up, a few surprises in Sunday's class final and King of the Hill shootout action. The drivers had an early start on Sunday morning, and with a slight nip in the air and sunny conditions forecast for later, clerk of the course Sparky Bright gave last-minute instructions for the day's racing.
Right, the dress code. Guys, please come into the start line here. Your helmet on and fasten.
The tension in the pits was palpable, and for some it was a tough day at the office at the business end of the competition. Thuka Mechanikos, in his eye-catching modified Mercedes-Benz C55 AMG, led Class B3 in the qualifying session with a 45.17, but he was a fraction too slow to qualify for the King of the Hill shootout. Jade Goodside only completed qualifier 3 at full speed before the clutch in his 800 horsepower Evo 7 packed up in the next qualifier. He and the rest of the Desi crew worked feverishly to remove the engine and gearbox in order to replace the clutch, finishing just in time for the class final.
Okay, Mike, I'm ready. Tell him to wait, I'm ready.
Jade, a multiple off-road and enduro motorcycle champion, blitzed the opposition in 41.96 seconds. Although this was just over half a second slower than his qualifying performance, it was a remarkable effort by Jade and his team to get the car running. Mohammed Dangor, here with his dad Farouk, had a change of fortune on Sunday.
Yesterday was a bit of a tough day. I've been sick all week, and so it put me a little down yesterday and everything, but we were positive. My dad was here and he kept me going and told me, no, we'll get the car sorted out and you're gonna drive. So last night they pushed. I went to bed early and they were pushing till 1 a.m. We had the help of so many guys here, Stephen Green, Rob Green, all the organizers, Jeff Goddard, everyone were amazing. So, we got the car running, and this morning we came out. I had to build my confidence again. It took me a few laps. We're having a little issues with the gearbox, but I don't know, this last lap, it was my last run, and to get it in to that top 10, I just feel that was an achievement. And yeah, thanks to everyone that helped me get there and make it, and especially my dad.
Graham Nathan, one of the top runners in his class, saw his hill climb challenge come to an abrupt end in qualifier 5 when a lower control arm broke mid-corner after clipping the tyres, sending his 1972 BMW 3-litre CSL straight into the safety barrier. He emerged unhurt, but no such luck for his classic BMW, commonly referred to as the Batmobile. Franco Scribante in his Chevron B19 set a very quick 41.65 in the last qualifier. And Darren Goodmans in his Nissan R35 GTR matched Toby Fenter's time of 42.09, indicating just how close and intense the competition was. In the class final, Des Goodside stamped his authority over the qualifiers and his B2 class 1200 horsepower Nissan GTR with a time of 40.266 seconds, establishing an official new Jaguar Simola Hillclimb lap record. The time eclipsed Franco Scribante's 2014 record of 41.159 by almost a full second. Toby Fenter in his Porsche 911 GT2 RS Le Mans had qualified in third place for the shootout, but in the class final he blew the clutch on his Porsche to bring a premature end to his afternoon and racing in the shootout. The class finals were hotly contested. After the punishing series of practice and qualifying runs, several cars either couldn't make it for the top 3 single-lap shootout due to a variety of mechanical issues or faltered on their final attempts. Quinsley Sale dominated A5 with a time of 44.711 seconds. Jacques Duplessis in a Toyota Conquest took the honours in A6 in a time of 50.76 seconds. Johan Zulch was the class winner in A7 in a time of 56.32. Greg Parton and his Lamborghini Aventador won Class A8 in 45.67 seconds. Ernst Duprier powered his McLaren 650i to a win in Class A9 in 45.71 seconds. In Class B, which hosts saloon-type race cars, Jade Goodside, despite his troubles, swept away the opposition with a time of 41.96. Des Goodside was untouchable in Class B2 with the new lap record. Thuka Mechanikos won Class B3 in 45.06 seconds. In Class B4, Nico van Rensburg and his VW Scirocco timed at 54.92. Peter Zilli claimed Class B5 with the fastest time of 45.69 in his Lotus Exige. Willie Hepburn roared across the finish line in 44.07 to win Class B6. Single-seater and sports racing cars made up Class C with Donny Lamola claiming C1 in a time of 50.237 seconds. Reigning champion Franco Scribante took C2 in his Chevron B19 in 41.89. A Lotus 7 replica, driven by Arnold Klimke, took C3 in 47.97. Mike Verrier powered the Reynard to victory in C4 with a time of 45.79. Class C5 was won by Michael Forsyth in an AC Cobra. And And the final event of the day was the King of the Hill shootout. The revised lineup meant that Willie Hepburn and Craig Zank moved into the 9th and 10th qualifying spots, with Toby Fenter and Jackie Schechter dropping out due to mechanical issues. The cars would run in the reverse order of qualifying, with the slowest car going first, which meant Willie Hepburn was first out, setting a time of 44.79. Craig Zank set a time of 43.01, over a second faster than Willie Hepburn. Dwayne Galloway clocked 44.32, but he was still behind Zank. Despite the dramatic off-road excursion on Saturday, Mohammed Dangor set a 44.32 in his Nissan GTR. Shane Goodside, brother of Jade, had quietly eased into the shootout, and his time of 42.98 took him to the front of the pack, with 5 drivers still to come. Gualtieri was undoubtedly one of the surprises of the 2015 Hillclimb, as he blasted his radical BMW 335 race car to its quickest time of 41.659 seconds. The time to beat, now even faster. The times were getting hotter and the heart rates a little faster as Darren Goodmans floored his Nissan GTR to clock his best time of 41.763 seconds, putting him in second place behind Sav Gualtieri. Defending champion Franco Scribante, who had endured a difficult weekend in his Chevron B19, missed a gear shift off the line, and his time of 42.015 saw him staring at best a 4th or 5th place overall, with the 2 hot favourites, Des and Jade Goodsight, still to come. After finishing second in the King of the Hill 3 times previously, Des could not have wished for a better start, which launched him into a silky final run up the hill. He flew to a new record time of 40.148, breaking his own record in the class final and smashing Scribante's 2014 record by an astonishing 1.01 seconds. Des looked certain to win the shootout, but there was one last competitor to come, his son, Jade, the 2012 King of the Hill champion. On that occasion, Jade beat his dad by just 0.02 seconds. Would he be able to do it again? Under the pressure of the frantic repairs to his Mitsubishi, the uncertainty of the car's reliability, and the taste of a second King of the Hill crown a mere 41 seconds away, his start let him down. A final run of 44.173 seconds, only good enough for 7th place overall. Desi completed a perfect weekend, becoming the new record holder and the 2015 King of the Hill champion. He joins an elite group of winners including Cyril van der Merwe, Jeff Mortimer, Wilhelm Barth, Jade Goodsight, and last year's winner Franco Scribante. Life at this moment could not have been sweeter.
Ladies and gentlemen, new King of the Hill and new record holder, Jade Goodsight.
Yes, it was a very nice weekend. I think the competition was stiff the whole weekend. We started off good this weekend. This motor car didn't let me down. We didn't even open the bonnet. So I'm very satisfied with the performance. But I've got to thank my crew, Steve, Quinton, Senzo, Patrick, everybody, my sons, my kids with me, hell of a job.
It was an action-packed and memorable 2015 Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. Over 12,000 spectators enjoyed the excitement of the racing and all that the event had to offer. Here's looking forward to 2016 and the possibility of a car dipping under the 40-second barrier. The Jaguar Simola Hillclimb, proudly sponsored by Jaguar.